Nature itself can be both astonishing and admirable, as is depicted within these poetic essays written by Mary Oliver, which exhibit her intimate relationship with nature and the wonder she experiences at engaging with even the smallest creatures of nature. This Pulitzer Prize-winning poet moves seamlessly through 5 sections of essays that traverse Oliver's upstream relationship with nature from childhood to adulthood, in lyrical and tender writings that express the interconnectivity of all living things in a manner that is empathetically poetic. Sometimes the desire to be lost again as long ago comes over me like a vapor. With growth into adulthood, responsibilities claimed me, so many heavy coats. I didn't choose them. I don't fault them, but it took time to reject them. Now in the spring I kneel. I put my face into the packets of violets, the dampness, the freshness, the sense of everness. Something is wrong. I know it, if I don't keep my attention on eternity. May I be the tiniest nail in the house of the universe, tiny but useful. May I stay forever in the stream. May I look down upon the windflower and the bull thistle and the coreopsis with the greatest respect. Teach the children. We don't matter much, but the children do. Show them daisies and the pale hepatica. Teach them to taste the sassafras and wintergreen. The lives of the blue sailors, mallow, sunburst, the moccasin flowers, and the frisky ones, inkberries, lamb quarters, blueberries, and the aromatic ones, rosemary, oregano. Give them peppermint to put in their pockets as they go to school. Give them the fields and the woods and the possibility of the world salvaged from the lords of profit. Stand them in the stream. Head them upstream. Rejoice as they learn to love this green space they live in, its sticks and leaves, and then silent, beautiful blossoms. Attention is the beginning of devotion. Nature can inspire learning, personal growth, adventure, and healing. Yaron uses the close examination of plants and their growth to serve as a mechanism for the study of the evolution of the human spirit. The discovery within human relationships can often mirror interactions with nature. Lab Girl exemplifies how science can be personal, and the experiments made within Yaron's lab lead to self-discovery and an understanding of how informed humans can be by their natural environment. A new mindset became imperative. Perhaps I could learn to see the world as plants do, put myself in their place, and puzzle out how they work. As a terminal outsider to their world, how close could I come to getting inside? I tried to visualize a new environmental science that was not based on the world that we wanted with plants in it, but instead based on a vision of the plant's world with us in it. I thought of the different labs that I had worked in and the wonderful machines, chemicals, and microscopes that have given me so much happiness. What kind of hard science could I bring to bear on this weird quest? The perversity of such an approach was seductive. What was there to stop me, aside from my own fear of being unscientific? I knew that if I told people I was studying what it's like to be a plant, some would dismiss me as a joke, but perhaps others might sign on just for the adventure. Maybe hard work would stabilize scientifically shaky ground. I didn't know for sure, but I felt the first delicious twinges of what would be my life's enduring thrill. It was a new idea, my first real leaf. Just like every other audacious seedling in the world, I would make it up as I went along. Though the impending threat of draft hung over his own son's head, it was freedom my grandfather craved, not retreat from the powers of the authorities he so loathed. The idea that had been brewing in his mind since his teens was pulling at him stronger than ever now. He had heard talk about a movement up north in Canada, a land known for its harsh climate and gentle handling of disillusioned Americans. But a new country was only the start of my grandfather's plan. He knew how to hunt, how to survive the wild, and he had some exciting ideas about shelter. What his kids needed was fresh mountain air and dirt between their toes. If he could just get them away from the city and into nature, back to the basics of food, water, clothing, shelter, they might still stand a chance. And so, he thought, might his marriage. Papa Dick stood up and walked back into his house filled with renewed conviction. He would wait until his wife's lover left, and then he would tell her that the time had come for them to pursue a life far more meaningful than the cliched hippie existence they had allowed themselves to slip into. He was almost certain she would agree. In fact, there was only one person in the family my grandfather was worried about convincing, and that was his 16-year-old daughter, Michelle. Because only days ago, she had come to her parents with some happy news. She was madly in love, ready for marriage, and 2 months pregnant. The ultimate question in this compelling memoir is whether or not counterculture life in the wilderness served Person as a child and also in her older years. Person's honest and vulnerable account of wilderness living immerses the reader in the controversy of prioritizing a life in nature far away from civilization over the need for broader social connection, and what effects isolation and small world living can have on the psyche. This captivating storyline coils itself around the details of Person's life, and each time the reader feels it may release them, instead it winds them even tighter. Strong characterization within the narrative of this story and the absurdity of situations that take place at times makes it feel as if the reader themselves is experiencing a work of nonfiction.